Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is the M4A3E8. It's a tier 6 American medium tank. It's located on the south spawn of Redshire and it's under the command of Wazwulf. Now this is the version armed with the 76mm gun, the high velocity gun, and it's also got the horizontal volute suspension system. You can see it there, which meant that it had smoother drive. And it was one of 2,617 M4s produced at the Detroit plant of Ford Motors. Now it's a V8 engine, 32 valve, double overhead camshaft, 18 litres and 500 brake horsepower. Well, I suppose it's the gun you're probably more interested in this game. It's capable of doing 115 alpha, and it will penetrate 128mm of armor with standard ammo, and with the APCR it'll go up to 177mm. This is the tank known as the Easy 8, and in fact actually it got that name because it came from the designation Experimental 8, which was given to these tanks, the ones that actually had the horizontal volute suspension and the 76mm gun. In fact, there are a variety of different combinations of letters which actually specify which version of the Sherman tank you actually got. The M4, the Sherman name actually came from the British because they actually gave it the name Sherman after General Sherman, the famous American general of the American Civil War. It's a very effective tank actually. They produce a huge number of these. Oh, he's got a fire. That M10's going, and he's gone, but he didn't get the kill. The kill actually went to the T20, who was alongside him. So still no kill for Wazwulf, but he did get a fair amount of damage there, and then also from the burn. Now he's actually trying to tell that guy, get out of the way, I want to get shots on that enemy wheelie. But the T20 just wanted to sit there. Okay, so now they're moving. T20's gone around the corner. Oh, didn't see where he was driving there. Okay, well, the enemy AMD 178B has gone down, but he went down to the ARL 44 instead. So Wazwulf's deciding to push on and try and get more damage off the other enemies. Pushing on this west side of the map, and he's found somebody. It's an SU-152. So he has to be a bit careful because that guy's got a 152mm gun capable of doing a huge amount of damage. We don't want to get hit by one of his shells. So the T20 is still following us and being a nuisance and getting in the way. Now that T20 is a noob. You can tell that from his name up on the at the top left-hand corner. He doesn't know how to play, and he's, well, actually being a nuisance to us. Okay, well, we've tried to get a shot into the GW. We just got hit by him. Unfortunately, we lost 262 hit points, so the T2 is still being a nuisance. There's the SU-152. Wazwulf is focusing on the GW, while the T20's gone after the 152. And the kill shot for the GW goes to the T20, so he's kill stealing. He's actually following what Wazwulf's doing, he's kill stealing. That's an AFK. Okay, so he can just finish off that right. Oh, he got a fire. He actually got the engine, set the fuel alight, and looks like he's going to go. It's a pretty healthy fire. And one more shot, please. And he got the kill. So he's got his first kill, but he took a round from an Aslains. And I think that's a 75mm or an 88 that got a low roll. And he gets a kill on the Striv 74. There's only 5 enemies left, but one of them did get a shot into us, the Aslains. T-3485 goes down. The Aslains still there. He needs to be careful here. Try and use his gun depression. He's got 12 degrees of gun depression. Yeah, the Easy 8 does have very good gun depression on this vehicle. Nicely tracked the Panther, Panther. That's it. Just keep pumping the rounds in. Now, where's the Nashorn? Okay. Oh, he found the Nashorn. There he is. He's actually behind the Jagdpanther. And we found out the hard way where the Nashorn is, and he got us with an 88mm. Okay, there's only two enemies left. There's an Excalibur and a Tiger P. And we're ignoring the Excalibur, who's to our left at the moment. He's actually round the corner in the dip. So we're going for the Tiger P, which is down by the river. By the time we get up there, yeah, the Excalibur's gone. So it's just the Tiger P left now. There he is. Let it dial in, let it settle. Okay, first one didn't pen. Use the APCR, he does. Go for the Cupola. Go for the Cupola. That's better. And that is the end of the game. Here's the end of battle stats, and that was an ace tanker game for Wazwulf in the M4A3E8 Sherman. He managed to get a 5 for effect for doing more damage than the hit points of his own vehicle, and a Bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. In fact, he got 12 in that one, but he didn't get any other medals, and I'm afraid, yes, it was that nuisance who actually stopped him from getting any other medals, I think, in this case. His win rate was high, it was 7,705, but let's have a look at team score and see where everyone was. Well, the highest damage in the game ended up being the Jagdpanther, who managed 2,441 hit points, just beating Wazwulf, who had 2,249. The Jagdpanther ended up with a Confederate in that game, so he didn't get 20% of the enemy hit pool, but he did hit more of the enemy than anyone else on their team, and we can see his win rate was actually a little lower, with 3,526, but he is a tier 7 in a tier 6 game, so obviously Wazwulf was benefiting from hitting higher tier opponents like that GW Panther. We can see here he got a 7 and 1, which is why he got the Confederate, but only 2,441 hit points, so it wasn't that far off getting the highest damage, but I don't think he actually would have got 20%. It would have got 20% if that T20 hadn't been around him. And there's that T20. 1,024 hit points of damage and 2 kills. Both of those kills would have been Wazwulf's. He would have ended up potentially with 5 kills to the end of the game if the T20 hadn't just kill-stealed the ones that he was after and doing the damage to. Anyway, second highest damage. Third highest damage being the Tiger P on the enemy team, 1,212. And he was actually getting ready to shoot Wazwulf because Wazwulf was highlighted against the skyline, which you don't tend to do in a tank. You don't want to be a prominent feature on the skyline because then the enemy will aim at you because they think, oh, that's a nice target. Yes, so he got second highest in damage, nearly got shot by a Tiger P. When it came to kills, he actually got the joint highest number, the 3 kills each. He managed to get 3 kills. The T-3485 also managed 3, and there's 2 kills for the KV-2, the T-20 Nuisance, the Super Hellcat, and also for the Nashorn on the enemy team. Yes, he was delighting in taking a few hit points. He did have the 88mm gun. That's why he was getting good results. And when it came to base XP, well, he did get that one, 1,222, because he was tier 6. He was getting much better XP. And the second highest in the game was the Jagdpanther with 769, but of course he was tier 7, so he didn't have the advantage that Wazwulf had of hitting higher tier opponents and getting extra XP for every time he did it. And the T20 only managed 733, again because of course he's tier 7 in a tier 6 in a tier 7 game, and of course he wasn't getting any advantage because of that. Anyway, let's have a look at detail. 27 shots fired, 22 direct hits and 13 penetrations. Damage, splash damage on 2 as well. 2,249 hit points, of which 540 were at more than 300 meters. He also got 3 hits received, 2 penetrations. Both of them actually came from the Jagdpanther. And 1 non-penetration. Oh, no, not from the Jagdpanther, from the Nashorn, sorry, I beg your pardon, which is annoying. 1 non-penetration and 1 hit by way of splash damage as well. That was the GW Panther who fired at him. 110 hit points of damage blocked by armor. 2 enemy vehicles spotted, 7 enemy vehicles damaged, 3 killed. So yeah, didn't qualify for a Confederate. He was out by 2. And 594 hit points of damage assistance in the game. On a premium count, he earned 39,306 credits for the game, 19,653 from personal reserves, 58,959 for the battle, and after repair, ammunition, resupply, and consumables took away 38,417 credits profit. 25 bonds for the battle, 1,833 XP times 2 for the first victory, took away 3,666 altogether. Yes, he said, even with the T20 trying to stop me, he was being a flaming nuisance, and I could tell straight away that this guy, he may have got up to a tier 7 tank, but he hasn't learned any manners, and he is still a bit of a noob. You could tell that from his stats. Basically, he was actually just trying to benefit from whatever Wazwulf was doing, so he would then get the kill steals and walk away with them. Not very nice behavior, and if you keep doing that to a teammate, sooner or later that teammate will block you because they don't want you ever to platoon or get any benefit from you. They are just flaming nuisances, those players who do their best to harangue you during a game, especially when you're trying your best to help win for the team. I think we've all experienced players like that. Let's have a quick look at the armor. There you go. That's the Easy 8, the A3 Easy 8. A3, obviously, I mentioned, it's a Ford V8 engine, 32 valve double overhead camshaft, 18 litre, 500 brake horsepower, aluminium block. And in fact, actually, Ford had 2 massive factories, the Fisher Tank Arsenal and the Detroit Arsenal, which are actually pumping out tanks at a rapid rate for the American Armed Forces and for everyone else as well. They were sending them to Britain and also to Soviet Russia. Yeah, they were also getting them and using them effectively. This is the collision model. You can see the front plate is actually 63.5 millimeters angled, goes up to 81. We've got a little slight change in the front there where the gearbox is, or transmission is rather, I should say. And that's got 50.8 millimeters coming up to 7.5. And this part can be detached so they can get to the drive. And of course, up on the turret, it's got 63.5 again, but because it's nicely rounded here, you're getting slightly better effective armor. Size of the vehicle, 38.1. It's got slightly more armor than you'd find on an M10, but it's basically the M10 is just an M4 drivetrain and lower half of the vehicle, so to speak, with much thinner armor. But the M4 is slightly better armored. By the way, the actual designation for this particular version of the M4 was M4A3E8 in brackets W, and the W meant it was welded, so it's not that cast rounded bit, it's a welded steel. They started making the welding much more efficient, and they could pop the tanks out a lot better using welded tanks rather than the rounded cast ones. So that's why they did it, because they were just getting better results. And at the rear, it's very easy to pen that from above. Look at that, 12.7 millimeters of effective armor on top, well, effective 14.3. So if you want to take one of these out fairly easily, if he's in a hold down position, remember they've got 12 degrees gun depression, which means they can hide behind ridge lines. It's that cupola you go for, 38.1 millimeters with effective 44.6. You can easily pen the cupola. So yeah, that's what you aim for to try and take him out. Let's have a quick look at the live model so you can see how easy it is to pen. Yeah, just about everywhere on the tank, except when he's very heavily angled, you'll get a ricochet or the armor will be strong. But other than that, it's made light to actually make it faster. It's got a top speed of 48 kilometers an hour. It's designed to go quick and to build lots of them. So yes, anywhere you can pen really, except when he's hull down, that's when it gets difficult. Have a look at the modules. We've got the modules here. We're seeing the transmission here up front. This big block in front. It's not the engine, it's the transmission. Can be worked on. You can take out the front part, the cover, like I mentioned. Driver on the right-hand side, driver's mate on the left-hand side, also technically the radio operator, but there's no radio there. The radio is actually up in the bustle in the back. Actually, is he technically the radio operator? I think he's actually just a driver's mate on this one. But we've got, in the cockpit, we've got the standard arrangement, which is the gunner on the left-hand side, tank commander behind him, and the loader on the right-hand side. There's no ammo in the top of the turret. It's actually stored down below, and you can see there's one ammo rack on either side of the vehicle. You should be able to pen that if you've got 38mm of pen, and you should be able to get through it. And at the back, we've got 4 fuel tanks. One's either side of the engine in the, what you call the shoulders here of the rear, above the tracks, and 2 more actually just below the, just behind the turret mountain, behind the turret basket. And yes, that's that I'm afraid is a petrol fuel or gasoline, I should say, for an American. And so, yes, if you can penetrate that, you should be able to get a nice little fire going. So that's where all the modules are on the EZ8. So yet another nice little battle by Wazwulf, another ace tanker. If only that T20 would go away and do something else, it would have been better for him. He might have got some other medals. He might have got the high caliber, actually. You never know. But I think it's very likely that if he hadn't been annoyed by that T20, I'm pretty sure he would have got something, even if it was a Top Gun, because he was doing very, very well. If you enjoyed that replay, please give this video a like, do subscribe to our channel, leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm, and thank you for watching.